Manliest deck in Buddyfight, well, in my personal opinion. Raging Spirits, and what do I like about them? They have won me to, they've got me top 8 twice in regionals, and I can't help but, show love for this amazing deck that has come out of nowhere, honestly, for me, and helped me just, I don't know, it helped me prove that even though this deck seems not viable anymore, I think the best way to describe it is just because the deck might seem not viable anymore doesn't mean it can't surprise your opponent, because it can come out of nowhere, and especially in this amazing game, and do some real damage to the meta, what people are playing as meta, because people in most card games try to play either with the meta or against the meta. So when something hasn't been played in a while, and it's something that could play with and against the meta at the same time, you can do pretty well with it. Alright, starting my deck profile off, I play Ricky as my buddy. He's a size 0. He's a 3/1/3, no call cost. He has an amazing ability that nullifies the lifelink of my Raging Spirits on my field. Size 3 Raging Spirits on my field. And he has a lifelink of 1. And the reason I play him is because I do play the Impact Monster, the Billion Knuckle Impact Monster. And so when I call on top of Raging Spirit, it helps me prevent taking the lifelink of the monster basically leaving field, because I'm playing a new monster on top of him. And also when my Raging Spirits die, because they redirect attacks to them, they are saved. The lifelink 2 is nullified because he saves them from that. Alright, going to deck profile, side 0s first. I play only 3 Rickies. I've never had a problem getting Ricky in my hand. And the way I set up my deck, this deck for me, is my Raging Spirits have their own survivability without Ricky needing to be there to nullify their lifelink. But it's always nice having him there to nullify the lifelink, so I don't take it when they do finally die. Alright, on to my size 1s, which I only play 2 of. Enemy Alliance Cat Bully. If I have an original size 3 Raging Spirit on my field, his size is reduced by 1. He's a lifelink of 1. He's a 2/3/1 for no call cost. And he can be played with my other Raging Spirits. That 3 crit is pretty amazing, because it'll deal some massive damage if my Raging Spirits do go off. And I've only had them not go off maybe like 10% of the time out of breaking. But the fact that he doesn't need a Raging Spirit on field to be a 3 crit monster is also pretty dandy. On to size 2s that I play. I play Enma Alliance Jet Cowl at 3. He is a 7/1/4, but you don't really play him for the stats or that stuff. You play him for his ability, which is you can pay 1 gauge and put him into the soul of the original size 3 Raging Spirit monster. And while he's in the soul of a monster, that monster gains 3,000 power. And when he attacks, you remove a soul from a monster in your opponent's field. You don't destroy him, you remove a soul. Which, when I was playing in regionals, both times in Texas and Atlanta, when I got top 8 with this deck, I didn't have him in my deck in Texas. I wish I did, because there's a lot of Star Dragon Mold being played, and I feel like he would have put in some mad work, but that was my hindsight, and hindsight can be 20/20. But in Atlanta, it helped me against the what are they called, Dragon Chief, the new Dragon Chief's Jaeger. It helped me keep mowing down their soul. It helps against the Shadow Shade matchup, mowing down their soul. Star Dragon rolled other decks that play soul, mostly Soul Guard, and just that 3,000 power, and it's for every copy in soul, is pretty amazing, because your monsters can get really beefy with all 3 of these in soul, and it can just help you just control your opponent even more. Next, on to my next size 2 is 3 Glacies. Everyone knows Glacies, but if they don't, he's size 2, 3/3/4, which that 3 crit's nice. Sometimes I'll brick and have to only play Glacies, but that 3 kit can put in work really early on if your opponent doesn't choose to nullify it, or if they don't have a nullify. He has a counter ability. You pay a life and discard this card. So it's not a spell, so they can't spell null it. And you can nullify it, and if you have a size 3 on your field, nullify the attack. And it's got a lifelink of 1. I do like the new Glacies art for Dragon's Fire. I actually want to pick up 2 more copies of it because I have 1. Next, I play 2 Wicked Dragon Fabrication Demonica. He is a spell null. He's a 5/2/4, size 2. Counteract, you can pay 2 gauge and a 1 life and discard this card from your hand. When your opponent casts a spell, you can nullify that spell. So a pretty good combo is triple link attack with your full field, dealing massive damage if they have an open center, and then just nullify their spell and win the game with it. On to size 3s and the bread and butter of the deck. I play 4 Wicked Dragon Emperor Billion Knuckle. He's a 7/2/6, pay 2, and put the top card of your deck into his soul. He's got the redirect that all Raging Spirits have. Soul Guard, counterattack, lifelink 2. He will wipe out your opponent's field on their turn if they are not careful, and if you properly time things. He is just the reason I didn't make him my buddy is I didn't have a 5th copy of him. I might have made him my buddy then, but then again, I do like Ricky as a buddy. Just the whole Bon Enma feeling, and who doesn't want to be Bon Enma? He's my favorite character in this 100 Demon series. He's got a 7,000 power and a 6,000 defense, and that 6,000 defense might not seem like much, but with all that soul that you can build in this deck now, and with certain cards, he can become beefy, and your opponent's just gonna have to sit there and look at him and have to attack him because he's just gonna make them go for him. Next, I play 2 Oni Street. He's a costless Raging Spirit, which is one of the best things, and he's still 7/3/7, and that 7 is a magic number now. It's hard. They usually have to link attack to get him. So lifelink 2 and the redirect. That's all he's got. But the fact that he's costless is pretty nice. 2 Champion Lords. He's a again like the other like Billion Knuckle. He's a pay 2 gauge, call cost, lifelink 2, and redirect. He's a 9/2/6, and he's got double attack, which is most of the time I use him for Billion Knuckles impact, so I can give that double attack. But he's not bad to call on field if you don't hit any other Raging Spirit. Next, I play 2 Burn Novas, the 4th Omni Fire Lord. He's a 9/2/8. When your life would go down to 0, you can pay 3 gauge, call him, discard all cards from hand, remove all cards from field, and your life goes back to 1. He's got triple attack. He'll help you survive. One game regionals, they're playing a mirror match, a semi-mirror match. They were playing the Commandant deck, and I built that deck before. It's pretty fun. It can deal massive damage to you really early on. But my opponent burned over me after I killed them, and I had Burn Nova in hand. I went back and burned over them, which is honestly pretty funny. It's a really good card. A lot of decks still they don't really play even 1 copy of him anymore, but I feel like he could be a good sideboard at 1, or even a main deck at 1 for some decks. And the new triple rare is beautiful. I gotta give a shout out to that first. I like the old triple rare. I still have a copy of the old triple rare, but this gold foiling that Buddyfight's doing for their triple rares is just the bee's knees. And he also came out as a Buddy rare, and I have 1 of each, and it's pretty nice. My last size 3 is 1 Ethereal Overlord Gang the King. He's a 7/5/4 for 3 gauge. And then if you have, what is this? If you have 3 or more Raging Spirit attribute cards in your drop zone, he gains 7,000 power? No, 6,000 power. So he becomes a 13,000 on his own, 5 crit. He's got Penetrate, a lifelink 2. So you call him late game, early game, whatever. He's a massive damage dealer. Not only that, but if it's later enough in game and your opponent hasn't even just a monster in center, or an open center, you swing with him and you have Demonica in hand, they're going to eat that 5. And they're going to have to eat that 5 because Demonica just nullified any chance of them not blocking this attack. And only run 1 copy of him, but I swear I've seen him sometimes more than more than Billion Knuckle that I run 4 of. And it's kind of funny. But he's an older card that came out, but I feel like he'll always be a 1-of for me in this deck, because what can beat 5 crit or 5 crit penetrate? Nothing, in my opinion. Nothing will beat this 5 crit penetrate, which is beautiful. Next, for weapons, I play 3 copies of Disposition of the Chief. It's a equip cost of pay 1 gauge. If you have a size 3 Raging Spirit on field, when this card attacks, you put the top card of your deck in your gauge. This has fixed any kind of gauge issue that the deck might have had before, and I don't like running the non-nullifiable weapon because it's 2 gauge cost, and I really don't ever play a close center. And I don't like running the old weapon that was no equip cost, just because the stats were kind of low. Plus, funny thing is, everyone that has mentioned this card reminds them of Naruto from Sasuke when he had the Susanoo around him, which is pretty cool because it's burnt over around Bon Enema. Next, staple spells that almost every Ancient World deck and Dragon Eye deck plays is 4 Dragon Emperor Legend. I like this artwork better than the original because you want to be a Bancho in this deck. So you play the Bancho Dragon Emperor Legend. I wish Bushiroad would come out with the Dragon Chief Dragon Emperor Legend instead so it can get a foil, because that card is also beautiful artwork. Then you play 4 Divine Dragon Creation. Hold up. Before that, the reason this card's a staple, before I go into the Divine Dragon Creation, is for free, you play this card, you gain a gauge, draw a card, and gain a life. For free. It's honestly unfair, but it's wonderful at the same time. Next, Divine Dragon Creation, it is a pay 2 life, draw 2 cards. That's it. And because your deck consists of your opponent having to redirect attacks to your monster, that 2 life is not really that much of a big deal, in my opinion. It's just there. You pay 2 life, oh no, you're gonna have to attack my big guy instead, so I'm gonna not have to worry about you dealing so much damage to me, except burn damage. Burn damage hurts. I'm testing out 2 of these. It's on the same boat as Hazardous Dragon. It's you pay 1 life, then you get to choose to, and I don't use the ability for the weapon, but I'm not going to go into the weapon part, but you can choose to put a monster into the soul of another monster from drop zone. So you take a monster from your drop zone and put it in the soul. So you go for Jet Cowl to put it back into the soul of your Raging Spirit, like Billion Knuckle, or even anything, just to make sure you're killing soul in your opponent's field and just adding more power to your monster. Or if you don't have Jet Call, just adding another soul to your card is always amazing. Next, I play 4 Results of Dragon Work. It's counter, choose a Raging Spirit, and it gets 4,000. Gets 6/6. One time I actually used this on Ricky to make sure he would be able to hit monsters, so my whole field was just always hitting cards that were bigger than Ricky's 3,000 power. He became a 9,000 power, which kind of annoyed my opponent. Also, this is really amazing for Billion Knuckle and Billion Knuckle's Impact, because both of them have counterattack on their own. So rather than playing the 3/3 counterattack, which is 3/3 sometimes doesn't even matter, 6/6 will make sure your creature survives, and then you're going to counterattack whatever they're trying to attack them. And usually their opponent's trying to double or triple link attack. So you're going to be killing cards that they've been wanting on field. Next, I play 3 Wrath Triggers. I like the new art better than the old art because, again, Bancho. This looks like a Bancho. Honestly, this looks like a Raging Spirit, and it's so funny that not me only, but everyone thought the Dragon Chief Emperors were going to be Raging Spirits because they looked like it, and even Jaeger looked like a water version of Burn Nova. But Wrath Trigger, it's an old card, but it got a few reprints. It's pay 1 gauge, 1 life counter. Choose a card in your field. Next time we destroy it, it is not destroyed and it gains counterattack. And it's pretty nice actually, because the counterattack lasts until the end of the turn. It doesn't last until the end of the battle. So say I only have Champion Lord on field or Oni Street, I can give him counterattack, and then next attack they try to do, I can play Restless of the Dragon Work, and I can counterattack whatever tried to kill it. Or even Ricky, I can give him counterattack. Next, and I feel like this is a pretty amazing card for most Ancient World decks now. It's a Dragon Against 1,000. You put this into the soul of a monster on your field, and then that monster gains 1k1. So my Billion Knuckle is becoming 7, 8, 9, 10k defense, and even more powerful. My Oni Street's becoming a stupidly hard card to hit. It doesn't give a soul card, but it just makes it even harder and harder to hit. It can add up when you get more and more of these in Soul. One time during regionals in Georgia, I actually had I think I had an 8-card Soul just on Billy and Knuckle, and you just could not touch him. My opponent could not touch him, say they'd had to pass turn, and I was just wailing on them next turn. Lastly, I play 3 Billy and Knuckle Spirited Chief. Chief, where are you? And he's not dead because Ricky's trying to tell everybody he's not dead. He's an 8/2/6. He's got the same ability as the Commandant of the End My Lines, except he's got Soul Guard, Counterattack, and Lifelink 2 instead of Lifelink 5. So you'll play him even on top of himself over and over, and again on top of Billy and Knuckle. And you'll just have a massive Soul with massive stats. If you're because the deck I tried to build around was sustaining my monsters all the time. So you'll have massive Soul, massive defense, and counterattack. And then his ability being the same as Commandant is you discard a card from your hand, a Raging Spirit size 3 from your hand, and he gains all abilities of that card, including their lifelink, yes, but he won't die. Most, like 90% of the time, he won't die. But you'll discard Burn Nova and give him triple attack, and he'll be swinging for 6 damage that turn, or Champion Lord and give him double attack. You can even discard Gang the King to give him Penetrate if you feel like he needs Penetrate. And this card, a lot of people don't like playing him for some reason. I've heard from what I've discussed with some people. But I think if you, like in Buddyfight, you want to try to build a deck that focuses around like a few key cards in your deck, and you're trying to keep that key combo going. This card just helped the Billy Knuckle combo that was already set in stone before. I think it helped it accelerate because you get to keep adding more and more Soul to this card by playing more and more on top of him. He's only got a 2 gauge and plays him on top of the size 3 call cost, which is pretty cheap thanks to things like Disposition of the Chief, Dragon Emperor Legend, and just not having to waste as much gauge all the time in this deck anymore. And I know one game at regionals I called this guy, and then I had a Burn Nova in hand, so I triple attacked him one turn, and then next turn I drew into another Burn Nova and just went into another triple attack with this card, and it just basically won me the game with that, without having to use that many turns of just attrition with this type of deck. There's not really many combos to go into this deck because the deck is pretty simple. You wall with your giant Raging Spirits. When you're ready to go in for the kill and you have Demonica in hand, you go in for the kill with Demonica. Gang the King being a 5-crit monster and Demonica combo, that's simple, that most people will understand it. And the weapon can help you gain that gauge you need for Demonica or for Wrath Trigger next turn. It's just it's an amazing deck in my opinion. I still think this deck will be, even if it doesn't get support specifically for Raging Spirits, when Ancient World cards come out that help with certain things, like most of the Ancient World decks I've seen coming out are Soul decks. A lot of those cards coming out, like the Dragon on the Boat card, can be tested in this deck, and if you feel like they're beneficial, they might become staple cards for Raging Spirits that'll keep your attrition going for your big beefy counterattack Soul Guard monster. Well, this has been my deck profile on Raging Spirits. I hope you like it. If you want to discuss this deck, please leave a comment in the comment section, and have a great night. Bye.